Hello and welcome. You are watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is BTS, that's Behind the Scenes, a show where we showcase for you and to share with you some of the sneak peeks into the latest edition of the Business Today magazine. Joining in on this edition with me are my colleagues Krishna Gopalan, he's the executive editor of Business Today magazine. Also joining in right here in the Delhi studio with me is Teena Jain Kaushal, the editor of Money Today. Welcome to both of you on this edition of BTS, and now to showcase a glimpse of the latest edition of the magazine to all our viewers. I do have the copy in my hand and this one has an exclusive on the cover. You do see PV Krishna Reddy, the MD of Megha Engineering and Infra on the cover, and this cover story is to find out more about the company Megha Engineering that shot into spotlight right after buying 966 crore rupees worth of electoral bonds. Now, what does the company really do and how has its rise been charted out over the last few years? We've also seen this exclusive interview that Krishna Gopalan has done with the low profile boss of Megha Engineering, that's Mr. PV Krishna Reddy. So starting off with you, Krishna, congratulations on getting this exclusive for us. Do tell us, Megha Engineering, everybody got interested into this company right after that list of companies invested in the electoral bonds came in, and I think Megha Engineering was the top second or the top third one that had invested the maximum in these electoral bonds. Do tell us more insights into what this company is all about.
Hi, great to be here. Thank you, Sakshi. This is interesting. For most people who, have grown up in Andhra, Telangana, Megha is just one of a long list of companies in the EPC space. EPC meaning engineering, procurement and construction. As you rightly said, it is on the 15th of March that the news really broke out on Megha in terms of it being the second largest contributor to the EBs or the electoral bonds. Very low profile owner, PV Krishna Reddy is so low profile it's hard to kind of see him at public functions. He's kind of a big time family man in that sense. The truth behind Megha is as follows. They've been involved in some of the largest EPC projects across the country. I'm just going to share a few examples with you. The Zojila tunnel, which is underway in J&K, is just one of the examples. We have the Prime Minister's big ticket ambition in terms of the bullet train between Ahmedabad and Mumbai. He's got a contract for a Bandra Kurla complex station. The other big ticket project for him is the tunnel that's being currently dug between Thane and Borivali, 14 kilometers one way. He's got a contract for there as well. In each of these projects, he's actually pipped people like Afcons and Larsen Toubro. Maybe one of the reasons for the limelight not being so much on Megha or Krishna Reddy is the fact the company is not listed. It's still closely held. But that said, the magnitude of the projects can't be taken away from him. I'm just going to go back in time. The company really took off sometime in the mid to late 1980s when they started off as a fabrication unit, started off by Krishna Reddy's uncle Pichi Reddy, before they got the big ticket break much later, sometime in 2004, when the then government of Andhra Pradesh, headed by Rajshekar Reddy, Jagannath Reddy's father, announced the Jala Yagnam project, which was the water irrigation project. And he got a couple of contracts there that really set him in the big league. And since then, it's been from irrigation to the entire chain of EPCs. So you speak of a refinery in Mongolia, you speak of the Zojila tunnel. So be it large projects domestically and off late internationally, he seems to have a finger in many pies.
Okay, and that's interesting. You're telling us that, from sewage to water to, solar to roads, infrastructure, there is just so much to this company. And therefore, the kind of size that it has, and it's still less known. I mean, about 32,000 odd crore rupees EPC companies. And you also mentioned that it recently also beat L&T, India's largest infrastructure and the poster boy of infrastructure, L&T, when it comes to the Borivali project. Could you give us more details on that?
Okay, this is really at the fag end of Mumbai, the suburb called Thane, and it's going to be cutting into the fag end of the western suburbs of Mumbai. It's a place called Borivali. This is one hell of a congested stretch. The travel time is about an hour and 15, hour and 30 on a good day. Krishna Reddy is looking to cut that to 15 to 20 minutes. And it was interesting because when he spoke to me, he said next time when I come to Mumbai, I'm going to take you through the tunnel to actually tell you how much of time is going to be cut. So he's had now a track record, he's had a history of execution as far as big ticket projects are concerned, and he believes that even through this rocky surface, the engineering expertise or the ability to understand technology will be put to good use. I'm just going to make a quick comparison with L&T because given that L&T is the big boss as far as EPC is concerned, L&T's order book for FY24 was upwards of 4.6 lakh crores. And you'll be surprised to know that for Megha, it was around 2 lakh crores. So much as it's unlisted, we don't tend to spend too much of time in terms of understanding the financial numbers. But if you're going to be about 50% of Larsen & Toubro handling projects which are as large as what they do, and if you're going to be pipping companies like L&T and Afcons reports, it obviously means you've done a few things right.
Absolutely. And of course, what about TV9 as a group? That is something that everybody wants to know more about as well. So what is the link there? Has Megha directly invested in it? What are some of the details that you can share?
He's been very smart about this. He's not taken that to the listed company. So the investment in TV9 basically has taken place through at the promoter level. So it's going to be Krishna Reddy family, but it's routed through a special purpose vehicle or an SPV. It's called Ananda Investments, and he's joined hands with Ramesh Jupali, the gentleman who set up My Home. So it's really a combination of two people having come together, setting up a special purpose vehicle and holding about a 90% stake in TV9. So he made it very clear to me when I met with him that he's completely hands-off as far as TV9 is concerned, to the extent that we got the first big ticket interview with Krishna Reddy. It wasn't TV9. So that tells you to what extent he is actually out of the limelight in that sense. There's obviously a bit of interest. Andhra is big when it comes to the political part of it. At last count, there were at least 20 Telugu news channels. So TV9 with its 5 regional channels and Hindi obviously is a pretty interesting company as far as size and scale is concerned.
Very, very interesting right there. And of course, now talk to us a little bit about the, boss, the MD himself, PV Krishna Reddy. Low profile as he is, we've not seen interviews of him before. How did you convince him for this interview? And how did he come across as, what kind of a person is he? What ambitions does he have?
Wasn't easy, Sakshi, in all honesty and all humility. Very low profile. He's known for a bit of CSR work that the family does in Hyderabad. There are little stories about how his brother-in-law has a home that's shaped like a diamond in a place called Jubilee Hills, a very well-known part of the city. But otherwise, I was lucky enough to sit and have lunch with him in Hyderabad. He's pretty unassuming, if I may say so. Dressed in a white shirt, a black trouser. The only thing that stands out is the Megha logo on the breast pocket of the shirt. Minds his own business, lets his work do the talking. Very, very fancy office. And the interesting part is the fancy office is in a pretty rundown part of the city. It's called Balanagar. Not exactly the most romantic part of Hyderabad, if I may say so. But he's got 5 towers, massive, 4,000 people working there. Very fancy conference rooms, terrific understanding of technology. He's got, to the extent, at the click of a button, sitting in his conference room, he can tell you what's happening out there in the refinery in Mongolia, or the status of the project of the Zojila tunnel in Kashmir, or what's happening at the Bandra Kurla complex railway station. So a man who's completely hands-on without being a micromanager, has a very competent team, low profile again. So we met a couple of them in the midst of lunch and some level of informality in Hyderabad. Not very talkative, knows his job very well. The level of unease or the discomfort in terms of that being the first media interaction came through, because obviously it was awkward for him to suddenly face the limelight and take these uncomfortable questions on what it meant to be cutting a check for 1,000 crores. Yeah. Gives absolutely no impression of a person who's running a empire that large. I mean, to the extent he's not even in a blazer, he's in a pair of slip-ons with a pair of socks which comes barely to the ankle. So he's as down to earth as that can be.
Okay, but he has global ambitions too. Like you talked about Mongolia, it's not just a limited story to India, and there is a global aspiration to that as well. Could you give us what could be looking forward from Megha Engineering? Because this, now that it has come into limelight, everybody will have a keen eye as to where and how much further it will go from here on.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of the global ambition, Sakshi, he bought over a company called Drill Tech in Italy also. So the whole thing, the oil rig story, for example, he's in a position now to play the global game. The point he made was, even if it comes to making a bid in India, that's a global bid today, because we are speaking of companies from overseas putting in a bid in India. More importantly, the quality of the work is absolutely paramount. So it doesn't matter which part of the world you're you have clinched the project in. The one in Mongolia, to the best of my knowledge, was about $650 million. It's to set up a refinery from scratch. So it's no different from, let's say, an HPCL refinery that is putting up in Barmer in Rajasthan. So the global ambition is very much there. He understands quality very well. But the biggest skill to my mind is execution, because if he gives you a timeline, he delivers the projects before that. So I think that, to my mind, stands out. It puts him in a very different position as far as the global market is concerned. He's got a presence across 15 to 20 countries, cities as diverse as Houston, Dallas, Milan, parts of South America. He's got factories running there. So we are speaking of at least a wannabe Indian multinational.
Wow, okay, that sounds extremely exciting, and many congratulations again, Krishna, for getting us that exclusive. And this is one story that all our viewers would definitely want to read as well. Now let me take across this conversation to Teena, who also has details from the dark underbelly of the booming 6 lakh crore rupees gold loan market, which is now suddenly seen cracking down on players like IIFL Finance from the RBI after serious deviations have been found by the regulator in the company's assessment and the auctioning procedures as well. Teena, for sure, we have seen with the kind of gold prices that have shot up to record levels in the recent past, it's both the borrowers as well as the lenders that have wanted to make the most of this rally as well. But when it comes to concerns or regulatory concerns, do tell us, what have you found? What was the modus operandi? What were the deviations here, and what have been the concerns that the RBI has talked about?
Thanks, Sakshi. To start with, IIFL Finance got the notice from RBI in March, and in that notice, RBI categorically said that serious deviations were found in assaying and certifying of net weight and purity of gold. So if I can give you an example, if a customer goes into the branch with a gold of 18 carat, the branch was valuing it at 20 carat. And why are they doing so? Because there is a stiff competition in the market. So they were giving the chance to have more loan to value to their customer. So first, the purity and net weight of gold was not same as in the branch and when at the time of auction. So disparity was found in the purity and net weight. That was one of the serious concerns highlighted by the RBI, because it led to the breach of loan to value ratio, which is 75% in gold loan industry. And the second thing that was found was the cash loans were given in cash in excess of the statutory limit, and the limit imposed by the RBI is 20,000, but in case of IIFL Finance it was found that loans were given up to the value of rupees 2 lakh. So clearly they were breaching the limit set by the regulator. And the another concern of RBI was standard procedure of auction was not getting followed. So in this case, what IIFL Finance was doing, it sent a notice, it charged a 200 rupees fee for sending notice to their customers. So that 200 fee also caught the eye of the RBI, and they said that standard procedures are not getting followed for the gold loan auction. So these were some of the serious concerns which led RBI to immediately stop the gold business of IIFL Finance, which was around 1/3 of its total business. So that was one incident that brought the dark side of the gold loan into highlight.
Right, absolutely. Do tell us now, how deep could this rot be if we try to understand this, and also in addition, if you could give us a sense of how big is the current gold market in India? Who are the major players apart from IIFL Finance also, to just understand this, how grave a concern, how big a concern could this pan out to be?
So Sakshi, this rot is quite deep, because when we dug deeper, we found out that in February, Association of Gold Loans Company itself asked RBI to ask certain banks not to breach their loan to value ratio, because they were giving loans up to 90%, and this condition was relaxed only during COVID period, when some financial support was needed to tide over COVID crisis. But banks continued to give loan till 90%. So this association itself wrote to RBI that certain banks are flouting this norm, and then finance ministry also stepped in later, and it asked public sector banks to go through their gold loan book to make sure that the proper procedures are getting followed. So it told us that something is brewing in the gold loan space, and when I did investigation, I found out that many gold loan companies were giving loan in more than 20,000. And what reply was given by the firms was that there is regulatory arbitrage, because in case of Income Tax Act you can give cash up to 2 lakh rupees, but RBI says it should be up to 20,000. So there is some regulatory arbitrage space where these firms are playing. But in the case of IFL Finance, RBI has made it very clear that the cash limit in case of gold loan is only 20,000.
Right.
And there is no confusion. So somewhere the regulator also has to step in to tell other gold loan companies and clarify what the rule is for them, because they are playing the arbitrage game right now.
Absolutely. Do tell us, Teena, how are the NPAs looking as of now? What is the entire picture? Is there something to really worry about since these concerns have been brought about to fore?
Also, I will answer your gold loan industry question, how
Yes.
big is that industry, and then I will come to NPA. So, gold loan industry is currently around 6 trillion, as you said. But if we look at how much gold India holds, it's around 27,000 ton gold that India holds, and if we pledge only 20% of it, then we have the potential of around 24 lakh crore. That is the potential of this gold loan industry could be. And when the gold loan prices are rising, it is again that gold loan industry will directly benefit from the rise in gold prices. So yeah, the gold loan industry might be very small of personal loan industry, but it's continuously growing, and in the last 3 years it grew at a rate of 22%, which is very healthy growth. So definitely there is a boom in the gold industry, and when there is a boom in the gold loan industry, there are repercussions of it also. So yes, there has been an increase in NPA, and it's mainly due to the COVID that I will attribute to. So in 2021, gold loan for the top 4 NBFC rose from 1.8% in financial year 21 to 2.9% in financial year 22, and but it came down to 2.15% in 23. So NPAs rose during COVID time, but it's now under control.
Okay.
But having said that, we know that gold loan is mostly taken by people who do not have access to formal banking. So it's very
Right.
small players, people who do not have access to banking. They are going for gold loan. So there is special need to protect this customer segment.
Yes.
And our governor also recently played down that there is no systematic risk in gold loan, but he has sent the message loud and clear to all the industry players that they need to get their books in order.
Absolutely. The message is loud and clear to all the gold financiers that they need to send their books in order, although at the same time it is absolutely essential to protect the customer segment that accesses the gold loan portfolio as well. Many thanks, Teena, and thank you so much, Krishna, for giving us these insights into your stories. And to all our viewers, I'd urge you to please go out there. The edition is already hit the stand, so please go and grab your copies. This is one interview that you don't want to miss to really understand something that has been lesser known in the world of EPC or the engineering procurement and construction companies, Megha Engineering, more about the founder, more about the company, as well as the gold loans as to what it is happening right now in the industry. In case you yourself have been thinking and mulling of applying for a gold loan, this is one story that you should definitely read. All right, we'll wrap it up at that, but do stay tuned on to Business Today, as we will continue to get you the coverage from the world of business and stock markets up next for you.